Hey, in this video we're going to be talking about, is it worth it to move to Dallas, Texas? And you're going to want to stick around till the end because the last point is the best one of all. And we're getting after it right now. If this is your first time to this channel and you want to know everything there is about eating, sleeping, working, playing, the good and the bad of living in Dallas, Texas, then subscribe below and tap the bell for notifications so you can be the first to learn about the current market in Dallas, Texas. My name is Levi Lassick with the Real Estate Mavericks, and my partner Jimmy and I get calls every single day from people just like you looking for help on making their move to Dallas, and we absolutely love it. So whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days, give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email so we can help you make a smooth move to Dallas, Texas. Now, we're getting into, is it worth it to move to Dallas, Texas? And the short answer is yes, but you may be thinking that I'm probably a little biased since I did grow up in Texas. I actually grew up a couple hours south of Dallas in a small town called Stephenville, but I moved to Dallas as soon as I could because I was always attracted to it. Now, I will say I think Dallas is the most well-rounded city. I've actually lived in Chicago, New York, Pittsburgh, and New Orleans. So I have been around the country and lived in each of those cities for at least a year. So I have experienced other cities, and I would say that they're not as well-rounded as Texas or Dallas, Texas, in my opinion, really, because Chicago was just a little too cold for me. It's very, very cold actually in the winter. And the same thing with New York. Always had the snowstorms coming in. The traffic was crazy. Pittsburgh, I don't really have a lot to complain about Pittsburgh. It's a great northern city, actually my favorite northern city. But a lot of hills. If you don't like to park or drive on hills, then there's some pretty steep ones there. But it also gets pretty cold in the winter in Pittsburgh. New Orleans, great city as well. Very, very humid if that's something that you're not a fan of. But we're gonna get into Dallas really. So I do have experience. I just wanted to share that a little bit because I didn't want you to think I was just gonna talk about Dallas the entire time without any other outside experience. But if you're moving here, if you're thinking about moving here and you have a business, Texas is very business friendly, so there's a lot of programs that you can take advantage of, in particular, especially if you're a veteran. There's several veteran programs, but also extremely business friendly. You can actually check those out on the Secretary of State website, and there's several programs that they have, and especially when it comes to veterans, they offer different entrepreneurship programs. We actually have another video that'll be linked in the description below about benefits for veterans if you're moving to Texas as well. But very, very business friendly. They are, you think about the current situation now with coronavirus that's going on as well. This is something you might want to consider because right now Texas wants to have its businesses open. So, whether you are comfortable with that, that's something you might want to consider. If you want to keep your business open and you want to take those precautions yourself, then Texas is more helpful in that area. Now, also, what a lot of people still don't know, which I find very surprising, is that there's no state income tax. And that can be a huge savings, especially if you're coming from New York or California. I mean, that's a tremendous benefit and savings to your income if you just make that transition, especially now if your business is online or you're able to work remotely, then you can take advantage of no state income tax. I will say this on the downside though, they make that up a little bit with property tax. So depending on what school district you live in or the size of your house or the amount you buy it for, the property taxes could get a little out of hand sometimes. So just be mindful of that and make sure before you purchase you understand what the tax bill will be on that. Here's the other aspect, is that if you're moving here with a job or for a job, Dallas is probably one of the most stable economies as a city. And that really falls into with the job market, and on top of that, real estate. Dallas has not really been affected in a negative way when you've seen several market crashes, especially like 2007, 2008. Of course, there was, it still felt some of that economic impact, but at the same time, the house prices were not that drastically overpriced as compared to Miami, California, New York, where you saw people lose 50, 60, 70% of their home values. So even during those time frames, Dallas is very, very stable. Even with the job market, in particular, we look at coronavirus, of course, in the year of 2020. Well, Dallas still, despite everything that happened, was still a pretty stable economy, and a lot of people were able to transition to online very easily because of the infrastructure here and everything that the state has helped with the business-friendly side of that. So really, if you're looking for something that's just really more stable as far as when it comes to economy and job market, and really, Dallas has been is in the top 10 for one of the best job markets in the country. So finding a job here should be a lot easier compared to other places. On top of that, because your cost of living is lower, then that's going to also help out, finding a job because you're going to be able to keep your expenses down and therefore find something more reasonable. And also that expands your options if you're not able to find something as high paying as maybe you would in California and New York, but at the same time, because of the economy and because of the cost of living, then it's going to equal out. But another really huge benefit of living in Dallas and why it's worth it to move here is because of the airport. I tell you what, I like to travel. Several of my friends like to travel, or even if you're a business travel, I try to travel as much as possible recreationally, but there's several options out of Dallas-Fort Worth. The airport, very, very inexpensive flights to Florida, to the Caribbean, to Mexico, things like that. Some of my favorite places to adventure to and check out. So there's always flights every single day that are direct and very, very inexpensive. So I think that's a great way to take advantage of that. And if you're a business traveler, you think about this, Dallas is really in the center of the country. So if you are traveling for business, going to California and New York is a much shorter trip than going from coast to coast, of course. But getting to Florida, to Chicago, Chicago's a 2-hour flight. That's very simple. I do some day trips there to where I'll fly in the morning and fly back in the evening sometimes for some business that I have in Chicago. But other than that, you're centered in the country, so it makes it very easy to get anywhere. And then also, of course, my favorite spot's the Caribbean to visit as well. So that kind of falls into play with why it's worth it to move to Dallas. Another option is lake life, and that's something that we really enjoy here in Texas. Unfortunately, we don't have the beach nearby or many mountains, so we take advantage of the lakes though. But there are several lakes that are very close to Dallas. There's even White Rock Lake kind of in the center of Dallas, but you've got Louisville Lake, Grapevine Lake, Joe Pool Lake, and Lake Ray Hubbard. All of these are within really 10 to 20 minutes of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, depending on which direction you're driving to. So that's something that you can take advantage of. If you love to boat, water ski, cliff jump, all those types of outdoor activity, picnic, camping, hiking. There's some really great bike trails around the lake. So that's what we like to call lake life here in Dallas. Again, 20 minutes in any direction should get you to a lake that you can have a lot of fun with and really enjoy. And that's gonna bring us to the last that I told you to stick around to. Is moving to Dallas worth it? And I'm just gonna say it right now, it is by far the best Tex-Mex and barbecue you're ever gonna find anywhere. And I believe in that 100%. So that's something that you will enjoy here. Countless and endless restaurants of Tex-Mex and barbecue, some of the best barbecue joints in the country. Find some good local spots. I know the area where I live in Old East Dallas, a lot of mom and pop with some of the Spanish people that have moved there, and also with those restaurants. So really great food options when it comes to Tex-Mex and barbecue, the best in the country. And with that being said, I would say it's absolutely worth it to move to Dallas, Texas. So again, whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days and you have any questions or need some help, we're here to help you in any way possible. So give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. All of our contact information is below. We'd be happy to help you out. And until next time, hopefully we'll see you around town.